everyone, Kathy here. So Riggs and I decided to do a week-long trip around the peninsula, sticking to 101 and 109 along the waters. And this is my intended map. The only place I did not get to was the Soul Duck Campground. Just not really ran out of time, but I decided to stay a little bit longer at the Bogachiel and skip Soul Duck. Anyway, I have some road pictures coming up. I'm going to speed through those at a fast forward. What you're going to be seeing here, this is south on Highway 101 towards Long Beach, and through this area is a lot of wetlands and sloughs you're going to be seeing. I am going to fast forward through this so you don't get a lot of road video. Enjoy! Okay, so I'm at Cape Disappointment State Park for a few days. I just checked in. I gotta go find my campsite now. I guess it's like a mile from where you check in at, which is odd. Anyway, very interested in this park. For the years I've been coming to Long Beach, I've never ventured out to check out Cape Disappointment. I don't know why. It's very, very, very close. And so I decided when I was here at Long Beach at the Adrift Inn not that long ago, I went to the North Head Lighthouse, and you could see, I believe, part of the park from the North Head Lighthouse, and it just looked so intriguing with the jetties and with the Columbia River, on the mouth of the Columbia River. So I decided I wanted to come back, and so here I am, and I'll show you the site here once I get settled. So in this part of the video you can see my RV, Nellie, to the left, very close to the ocean. I was very, very happy how close it was walking distance. And you could smell it, you could hear the roar all night long. It's such a different ocean than like La Push. Very sandy, not too rocky. There's some big rocks, like where the lighthouses and stuff set up on cliffs and such. In this video here, you're going to see the North Head Lighthouse way in the distance. I think I've got a close-up coming of that here in just a second. There you go. I thought these diagrams were interesting. It explained where I was right now and how the sands had formed the beaches. And I'd be just basically in the ocean had the sands not formed. I thought it was very interesting. I don't know if you guys are interested in history and stuff, but I am. And also I was happy to discover I was on part of the Lewis and Clark Trail and was probably camping very close to where they had camped and hiked exactly where they had hiked. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. This says Lewis and Clark Trail. This says November 18th, Monday, 1805, William Clark recorded in his journal on this date. I set out with 10 men and my man York to the ocean by land. Later in the day, I found Captain Lewis' name on a tree. I also engraved my name. I crossed the neck of land low and 1/2 of a mile wide to the main ocean at the foot of the high open hill. I ascended this hill, which is covered with high coarse grass, descended to the north of it and camped.
The site of this marker is probably within a few hundred feet of the campsite. The marker was placed by Washington State Society Daughters of the American Revolution, October 21st, 2000. Cool. Okay, this says Lewis and Clark at the Mackenzie Head, discovering the Mackenzie Head. I can't read any of that. That's Clark's writing from his journal. And that is the trail to Mackenzie Head.
And this is where I begin my ascension up the trail to Cape Disappointment Lighthouse and the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center. This video is only going to go to the Visitor Center, Interpretive Center, the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center that sits up on a cliff, and then my next video will be the remainder of the hike up to and back down from Cape Disappointment. A lot of swampy land and sloughs, like we were talking about earlier, lots of sloughs. When I first looked at this picture, I go, why did this come out upside down? But actually, is this a reflection of the sky and the trees and how gorgeous it totally was that day? I did a little bit of looking up about this area. It's the park itself is like 1,882 acres. And I don't know if that includes beaches or not, but beautiful beaches. This is above the trail a little bit of the beach or the trail that I was on going up to Cape Disappointment Lighthouse. Lots of cliffs and rocks. This reminded me a lot of why I like about, the reason I like La Push so much is because of the ruggedness of it. And this had a lot of that type of terrain too that I really enjoy. So initially, what I had found out is that this was first named post-disappointment, and that was to protect the waters of the Columbia in the Civil War. I didn't know that, like in 1882, or not 100% sure of that year. I will include the links in there. And then it became Fort Canby, I think in like World War II. And then later again, it became Cape Disappointment and State Park. This is going up the trail towards the lighthouse. The trail was steep and muddy, but not nearly as bad as the one I take up to North Head the next day. This is the bunkers of Fort Canby. Very similar. And I think I mentioned before, this started as Fort Canby back during this, no, it was Point Disappointment Post. That was during the Civil War. Then it became Fort Canby in World War II, I believe. And then later, it became Cape Disappointment Lighthouse. This is the North Jetty, correction, the North Jetty in Washington. And that's a ship, I believe, going into or out of the mouth of the Columbia. I think out of the mouth of the Columbia. And that is the South Jetty. And this is, of course, the Cape Disappointment Lighthouse from the Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center. It's beautiful. It was a beautiful day for a hike up there too. Even though it was steep and muddy, it was great. This is Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center. I didn't go in it because of the dog. I didn't want to have to tie him up outside. It says the object of your mission, comma, or ... the Pacific Ocean. Thomas Jefferson. So I assume that was something that Thomas Jefferson said to Lewis and Clark. I can just imagine myself in this cove, camping, beautiful. Anyway, that's it for this video. I appreciate all of you for watching this video and subscribing and liking, and take care, and I'll see you later this week.